Welcome back to Jedella Fashion Guide. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to draft a peplum, which is a flare of a blouse. In our previous class, we learned how to draft the upper bodice of a blouse, the half cut. Today we are going to be dwelling on the peplum, which is the flare part of the blouse. Now, there are things that are to consider when we are to draft out the peplum. Consider the waist measurement and the length of the peplum. If for example our blouse length is 24 and the half length is 15, we are going to subtract 15 from 24 to get our peplum length. So 24 minus 15 will give us 9 inches, and then we are going to be adding 1 inch sewing allowance. The 1 inch, half inch to join it to the upper to the half length, and half inch to use the lining to turn it. So we'll be making use of 10 inches as our peplum length. Now the next thing to consider is our waist measurement. The waist for this customer is 34. Now this 34 inches, you are going to be dividing by 4, because our fabric will be folded into 4. Assuming this is our fabric, to cut this flare, first of all fold it into 2, and then we fold it again, which is into 4, and that is what I've drawn out a box here, something like this. So that is what we have here. So I'll be making use of this corner and this corner. Now the waist is 34. When we divide it by 4, we'll have 8.5. We are going to be adding sewing allowance to this because we'll have a zip. We are going to be having a zipper allowance, so we'll be adding 0.5 as our allowance. So it will now give us 9 inches. So that 9 inches, if you multiply 9 by 4, it's going to give you 36. So 36 minus 34, you discover that you are going to be having 2 inches allowance. So I wrote here waist plus 2 inches sewing allowance, that's 34 plus 2, which is 36. So when we divide it 36 by 4, you are going to be having 9 inches. Okay, so that is how to add allowance to your peplum, to add allowance to the waist of the peplum. Now the next thing to determine is if the flare is going to have a pleat or if it's going to be without pleat. If it's not going to be if it's going to be without pleat, then we'll just make use of this 9 inches that we calculated. But if it is going to have pleats, maybe you want to have kissy plate or box plate, then you need to add 2 inches extra. Okay, so instead of making use of 9 plus 2, you are going to have 11. So that by the time we multiply 11 by 4, we are going to have 34, which is now more than the waist. The waist is 34. So by the time you use 11, you will have 44. And 44 minus 34 will give us 10 inches. So we'll have 10 inches extra to make the pleat. Okay, that is how to determine what to add to the waistline. So having learned that, the next thing now is to calculate how do you know how much fabric that you are going to use. How do you know how many you are going to fold? Okay, now there is a formula for calculating circumference. There is a formula for that, and the formula is circumference is equals to 2 pi r. Okay, and in this case now our circumference is our waist, the roundness, okay, of our body, our waist. That is our circumference. So if we are going to put it into here, into the formula, it means our waist is equals to 2 times pi times r. pi is a constant in mathematics, it's 3.14. So our waist, now we are making use of waist 36, so 36 is equals to 2 times 3.14 times r. 36 is equals to, by the time you multiply this, 2 times 4 8, 2 times 1 2, 2 times 3 6, then the r. By the time we now make r the subject of the formula, we now have r equals 36 divided by 6.28, and that will give us 5.73. So when we approximate, it will give us 6 inches. So if I want to fold my fabric, I will add these 6 inches to the length of the peplum. Remember that the length of the peplum that we calculated, we said 9 plus 1 inch, so now which is 10. So my fabric should be folded such that I will have 10 plus this 6, which is 16. It means that I should have 16 inches here, and I should also have 16 inches here. That is when you fold it, you should have enough that will get to 16 inches. This is what I mean. You know that we are going to be folding into 4. So you should fold it such that you will have up to 16 inches when you measure it. You see this one now, this one is 13, it's not up to. But when you look at this other side, this is 16. So you will refold your fabric. This is just an illustration. You fold your fabric such that by the time you measure it, you will have 16 by 16. That is how to know how much fabric you are going to put on the fold. Now, this is when you are using the formula. Assuming you are a beginner, you don't really know much about formula, there is another way to determine it. Okay, now after you have folded your fabric, you try to determine the point you are going to get the circumference of the waist. Remember that the circumference you are working with 9 inches, and I've already explained how we got 9 inches. It's simply the waist measurement plus 2 extra inches. Our waist is 34. 34 plus 2 is 36. 36 divided by 4, because our fabric will be folded into 4, we have 9 inches. So what you do next is to come to your fabric and then locate the point. Try to place your tape to mark out the 9 inches. Remember that this waist is not a straight waist, so don't just place it like this. It's going to be a curve. But first of all, try to locate where you will find the 9 inches. So you just place your tape like this. You place your tape and try to curve your tape as long, and try to, here you have 8.5, so you move it down a little, you just try, and then you have it somewhere around here. Then try to measure what you have there. This is 6.5. Then you come here, you measure the 6.5. After you have done that, then you try to place your tape again from this point to this point. Will it give you 9 inches? Try to place it again. You see that this is now more than 9.5. So that means we cannot use that. So you reduce it. So this was 6.5. So you reduce it. Let's come down to this place and also reduce it and see. You see it, we'll be able to get 9. So that is how you can estimate it if you are not working with the formula. So we are making use of 6. You just mark out the 6. Mark out the 6 inches here. You also mark out the 6 inches here. And then you try to get it across. So the tape, the beginning of the tape should be at this corner. And then you mark out 6 inches. Still at that corner, without moving you don't remove the one at the corner, you only move your tape. You're going to be moving the tape like this. So you move 6 inches. You move again until you mark. After you have finished marking, you just connect all the markings. You just connect them. You try to connect it. Okay, just connect what you have marked, and then try again and see if you are going to get 9 inches following the curve. Do you see that? Do you see that? You even see have some small extra, so it's not exactly 6. Remember that when we calculated 36 divided by 6.28, we have 5.73, and we just approximated to 6. If you divide 36 by 6.28, you are going to have 5.73. Okay, and we approximated to 6, so you can actually approximate to 5.75. Okay, so that you don't have too much difference. Okay, so I'll just go over it again one more time. I said, assuming you do not know the formula, or you are not using the formula, we know that our waist is 30. We are using waist 36 because of the extra allowance. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Just go to try to locate where you are going to have 9 inches. Try and locate it. You place your tape like this and just try to locate 9 inches. Did you see that? So then you now check the point at which you got the 9 inches. Okay. As you didn't get to 6 completely, so here is 6. Before 6, you do the same thing here, and then you place your tape, let it be at the middle, and you mark the same thing, 5.75. Just mark the same thing. Mark the same thing. And then connect the lines. Try to connect the lines. And then check what you now have following the curve. Place it on this side. You see that you will get to 9. So having determined that, we said we are going to make use of a peplum length of 10 inches. The blouse length is 24 minus the half length, 24 minus 15, we have 9, and so we are adding 1 inch sewing allowance. So from this point that you have marked, you just mark you place your tape there and get your 10 inches. This is what you are going to do all around. Your tape at that middle and mark your 10 inches. Hope you see what I'm doing. And of course on this side. We also get our 10 inches. And then you just connect it. If it's a pattern paper, you just connect it, or if you are cutting with a lining, use your tailor's chalk to connect it. So that is just all. That is how to cut your peplum. So you see the length, 10 inches. By the time you measure here, 10 inches, you measure, it's 10 inches, 10 inches, and here, 10 inches. And then you cut, you know you have folded it to one side of the corner, you cut it open to accommodate the zip. So that is just all. So you are cutting, you cut here, and then you cut here. So that is all for this class. In our next class, we are going to use we are going to do the recutting. We will not be using the board. We'll be using a lining to practice the full peplum, the upper part and then the flare part. I hope you find this video helpful. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe so that you can get more videos. Thank you very much. See you in my next class.